It's about that time of day again. Oh, yes, indeed it is. Welcome to your nightly newsletter, boys and girls. Joseph James here. It's Tuesday evening, April 21st, 2015. In tonight's newsletter, crude oil is trading all the way down at the lows of the range this evening. Now, we got an inventory report tomorrow, another highly anticipated weekly report tomorrow from the DOE. Long-term trend is bullish. That tells us there will likely be some great trading opportunities down at these lows around the support levels below us for tomorrow. So we got a lot to talk about today on crude oil. Stay tuned for that. How about the gold? The yellow metal, it's also trading back inside of the middle of its range this evening, which means our plan for tomorrow is to stay patient for buying opportunities at the lows, selling opportunities at the highs, and we're going to continue to use that $1,200 an ounce as our easy profit target. Our plan worked flawlessly on gold from last night's newsletter. We're still waiting for the plan to work out on crude oil. As you can see, we have a great newsletter for you guys and gals this evening. Plenty of trading opportunities in store for us tomorrow. But before we begin, please remember, everything we cover in tonight's newsletter video is taught to all of our students here at schooloftrade.com. We offer a free trial where you can learn all about our trading strategies, and I'll also give you a free pass to come out and attend our trade room. I also want to remind you to make sure you're watching this video on our trading blog over here at sidewaysmarkets.com. Now, there are 3 reasons why you should be watching this video over on our trading blog this evening. The first reason, scroll on down here. Right below the video tonight, you can download all the charts. I actually threw in a couple extra charts because I couldn't fit it all into one screen. So you can download all of my charts. Every chart you see in the video tonight, you can download those by following the link right below the video. Have those ready for you to be using tomorrow. How about a free pass to attend our trade room? Upper left-hand corner. If you're not a member of School of Trade and you'd like to test drive our live trade room, see what we're all about here at School of Trade, I got a free pass for you guys, upper left-hand corner. And, of course, last but not least, there was 3 reasons here. We have a nightly newsletter mailing list. Every evening, Monday through Thursday evening, yeah, they let me out of my cage on Friday evenings. Monday through Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to send you an email, let you know when this newsletter video is ready to be watched, so you'll be ready for tomorrow. That way, get up my screen. That way you never have to worry about missing another newsletter ever again. All right, guys, so make sure you grab your free pass, download those charts, and, of course, register for our nightly newsletter mailing list. Also, if you grab the free pass, if you register for the newsletter list, I'm going to send you a verification email, so make sure you check your email. Check your inbox, your outbox, your spam, your junk, whatever kind of boxes you got over there. Check them all. I'm going to send you a verification email to make sure that you give me approval to keep sending emails in the future. Deal? Alrighty. Helmets on, seatbelts fastened. Now, I'll tell you, markets have been a little bit slow this week here, right? We saw a little bit of slow volume today, a little bit of it yesterday too. Even though it's very slow right now, we haven't any major news this week. We got a plethora of big news coming out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll talk about the inventory report on crude for tomorrow in just a moment. But we've got a lot of major news. We got housing tomorrow. We got durable goods on Friday. We got a lot of major news coming out. Markets trying to shrug off these tax time doldrums right now as we get back to business here in the second quarter. A lot of learning opportunities right now. I was talking about this in our trade room today. These are the times that shake out all the weak hands. We've been spoiled by these huge ranges over the past 3, 4, 5 months, right? Many of you have made a very handsome reward off this stuff with me, right? This is the time when you've got to reel it in, really be patient, wait for those setups. We can't manufacture trades. So remember, this is a great time to remember, this is where all the retail traders get shaken out of the market. Professionals know when it's right and when it's wrong to be entering and putting our risk capital to work. Come out and join me in the trade room. I have a plan for you guys. I help our students every day make a career out of these financial markets. That's what I'm here to help you with tonight. All right? Look at the gold here, the yellow metal. Like I said earlier, I mean, our plan really kind of flawlessly came together today on gold. It really is nice when a plan comes together like this. Last night, we saw gold down at these lows. We said, just wait for those sellers to try and fail. They try, they fail, and then yoink, right back up into the range above us, right back into the range. And remember what I said last night. I'm going to say it again tonight. be very careful trading inside this range right now. You got $1,200 an ounce right around the corner here, right? We're kind of rough and tumble in the middle of the range, in the middle of the wedge, and right on top of the granddaddy of all big round numbers for gold futures, the $1,200 an ounce big round number. So same type of scenario we saw last night, right? Gold is trading now this time back inside, right smack in the middle of this range this evening. Okay, you want to look for buying opportunities down at the lows, right? We get some great spots for you there to buy the lows. And if we go higher, can you guess? Yeah, selling opportunities up at the highs. Now remember, they're not going to make it that easy on us, right? It's not just going to go up to the highs and then just okie doke roll over, right? What will happen is it's going to make you think it's going to break out, right? So we go up. And as we look to break out, I'm going to talk more about this later on in crude. The first time we try to break out of a range is usually going to fail. That's why breakout pullbacks are so effective, because you let some other poor sucker take the risk with the initial breakout. You wait for it to pull back and then go, right? Well, what would happen if that pullback failed? That's what I want you to be thinking about until this situation changes. So an easy scenario to expect here, if we go higher, is price goes up. And again, it may just completely turn around on a dime, so to speak, right? Or on a gold coin, I guess, if you want to play in a little trading term there, right? Bad comedy here. Let's keep going. But we know that's probably not going to be that easy just to look for the reversal, right? What's probably going to be the easier trade for us is to wait for the buyers to think they got it, pulls back, and then, nope, right back in, right? That little fake break of the high. That's what you'd expect in this type of scenario, right? What we call this buyer failure, right? We're looking for buyer failure, a bull trap at the highs, right? That's what you're looking for. Looking for the bulls to get a little bit too aggressive. They don't see the big picture here, and they don't know that magnet back in the middle of that range is going to bring that price most likely right back down in. The next scenario would be if price goes lower, right? Again, it's going to try. It should try, right? See what happened over here, see it over here, right? It's going to try. It's going to try to get out of that range here, right? Again, don't take that bait the first time it goes lower. Don't sell that breakout. What you do is you wait for it to retrace, retest the trend line, retest the 94.7 area. There'll be some other resistance there as well. Wait for the sellers to try, and then blammo, right? Right back up into that range as we go back in. So again, it's the fake break of the high, the fake break of the low. That's where the easy money is going to be made right now on this gold market. And you know that $1,200 an ounce, it's just staring you right in the face saying, come back to me, baby, like it's on a string, okay? Now, gold has a tendency to really move. We have a plan if this thing just breaks and never looks back, right? If it breaks and never looks back, we're going to hone in on the price action and see where we can keep buying this on the way up. If it breaks and doesn't look back, we're targeting that range expansion. If it breaks and doesn't look back, we're targeting that range expansion. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. But again, I don't think it's going to happen, at least not for mañana. I think we're going to see more of this range breakout failure. And again, we'll be trading this in real time tomorrow on the gold. Come out and see me. How about some price action on gold? Same market, different chart type. This is a tick chart, and of course, a different time frame. This is a 1400 tick chart. This now gives us a much more intimate view of what's going on. A lot of really important clues on this chart. Clearly, we're bullish in this environment. We can see higher lows. We can see higher highs, right? You toss on that little midline, and boy, very, very good-looking, handsome, well-behaved channel. Now, remember, these channels, we go from the high, down to the low, up to the high, down to the low, up to the high. Where do you think we're going next? Down to the low. Okay, right? So in normal conditions, right, in a healthy channel environment, we're going to see opportunities to sell short down to the lows, but make sure you pick up your nickels and dimes down at those lows. Take your profit at those lows, because what should happen is we should gravitate now back towards those highs. So if you're a seller right now, You got to be real careful. You're in a bullish trend right now on the gold. If you are a seller, though, see this little moving average right here, right around 1,200. Okay, what you look for is you're looking for this to slip below the moving average. Look for the buyers to try, and then when they fail, that will give you your best selling opportunity, just like we saw down here. If you were in my trade room this afternoon, we talked exactly about that. We said, listen, we're coming off those lows. Wait for that price to slip back above the moving average. Look for the sellers to try, and then when the sellers fail, whoop, go right back to the highs. Same thing to look for as we go back towards those lows, right? Again, the easiest money you're ever going to make is when the opposite side tries and fails. Where would the opposite side try and fail? At support and resistance. Where do we see some support and resistance? We've got a moving average here, right? We have a midline here. We have a trading range low, right? Pick one of these. And so what we'll look for is, again, the moving average is just an easy way for me to illustrate it. We go below the moving average, right? Now we're not very bullish anymore. We see the buyers try once. We see the buyers try twice. And a big juicy red candle, right? You know now those buyers have tried and failed. Take us down to the lows. Make sure you take your profit at those lows. Don't get too greedy on me here, right? We're not gambling. And then I will definitely be looking to buy those lows. Now, what are some ways to buy the lows? I could wait for the turn, pull back, pull back, pull back, right? Gravitate towards the highs, right? That's one option. I could look for a reversal pattern, such as a 3-point reversal, right? I could look for a reversal. I could also, going on the same lines before, I could look and see if there were some poor sellers down here trying to, once they give up, right? In other words, seller failure at these lows, right? Those poor, unsuspecting sellers down at those lows, don't they know any better, right? You don't want to sell the lows of a bull channel. So bottom line is, though, is that short-term sellers, you're going to have a chance here, but I would make sure you really get underneath that midline, really get underneath that moving average, right? You've also got this channel here. We're going to need to update this tomorrow morning once we open up our trade room. But that channel may still be in play. It may be seeing, like we oftentimes see, a measured move down before we get the push higher, okay? So keep it in mind, sellers, right? Measured move. And then if you're a buyer, you've got some easy buying opportunities here. Now remember, don't just panic if we happen to slip below that area right there. I will be looking for buys here. I'll be looking for buys there. Once we start breaking down around here, though, I'll definitely need to see a little bit more information, all right? But I would say, though, anywhere between, that 98 area and that, it all depends on where we end up breaking that channel low tomorrow. But that's where you're looking for. Buy the lows, buy its support below the channel lows. And again, remember, the cycle here we're expecting on Wednesday, all right? There's your plan for gold. Again, you're not alone out there with this, guys. Come on, see me tomorrow. We'll be trading gold along with all the other favorite markets here at School of Trade. How about this crude? Now, when you see a market kind of sit in the same area for a while, you tend to get quite a bit of conversation going back and forth. The bulls and the bears are definitely at each other's throats right now on the black gold, the Texas T, right? As you can see here, a couple important things that we want to point out, right? First of all, long term, very difficult to say we're anything but bullish. Okay, long term, we're definitely bullish. And you can see, right, go from the lows up to the highs, down to the lows, up to the highs, and I don't know, right, maybe down all the way to the lows. Tough to tell short term how that plays into the long term, right? Think about it. It's common sense. Difficult to say when we get back down to these lows, right? Maybe we go up higher before we go lower, right? So, again, we do know that this bullish trend reminds us, hey, look at this trend line here, right? This channel low. And if we can find our way down there, you definitely want to be a buyer right there, right? And that would put us right up around that range expansion target around 60. Remember, it feels like we're going to find a way to 60 here. Like I said last night, How we get there, when we get there, I couldn't tell you. If I knew that information, I'd be hanging out with Branson and Oprah and Cuban on one of those little Dubai party islands, right? Which sounds wonderful. If anybody has any bunk beds out there in those islands, I'm in. I'll grab the next flight out of LA. Anyways, keep moving here. So we know we're looking for buying opportunities. Next up, in the midterm, right, kind of the medium term, we have a trading range. Now, where do you see we are in the trading range? We're down near the lows, Joe, down near the lows. What do we do at the lows of the range? Well, cross this off your list. We don't sell the lows of the range, right? So naturally, process elimination, we want to be a buyer here at these lows. We talked about this last night, right? In fact, my plan in last night's newsletter is slowly coming to fruition, right? Go down, trap. Go down, fade. So bottom line is the long-term trend is bullish. It tells us be looking to buy. The medium-term range tells us, hey, this is a good place to be looking for that buy you were talking about, right? This is a great place to look for the sellers to try and whoops, right? And they fail. Or we continue to push lower. We come back all the way to what I call a reversal line here, right around 55.5, another kind of big round number there, and then we take off back up again. Difficult to tell where we make the move. If we make the move here, we know we're looking to be a buyer. If we push lower, be very suspicious of that push lower in the long term, and be looking for that move back higher. Now, here's something that's very interesting. And since you and I are now experts on channels, which we talked about last time, right? Look what we have here. In the shorter term, not a lot shorter term, but a little bit shorter term here now, we have this bear channel. See that bear channel? This one took me a while to find. You kind of had to blur your eyes, stand on one foot, and whistle Dixie to really pick up on that channel. It's a little bit of a sleeper. What do you see has happened here? Low to high, high to low, low to high, high to low, low to high, right? Okay, so now you start seeing there are three big clues in this chart. First of all, buyer. Okay, we want to look to be buyers here to follow the long-term trend. Second thing that I see is this trading range. We're looking for a FOBO, right? A fake out breakout, a bear trap. We're looking for a fading opportunity, right? The difference between a fade and a breakout trap. A trap happens right at the lows. A fade happens a little bit outside of that range, okay? And of course, the third thing, which I think is really almost a little gem, hidden clue here, it's that bear channel. We're right down at those lows. So even if we overshoot the lows here, eventually we're going to get the snap back here. Okay. Now this whole thing may break down, and that's why I'm going to be here with you tomorrow in my trade room. We'll take a look at it again tomorrow morning. We'll see how it looks after the overnight session, and we'll put together a revised strategy for tomorrow based on what's happened overnight. Guys, don't forget though, we do have a range expansion support area. I made sure to highlight this area here because if we did just run like a bat out of hell here tomorrow, this is crew we're talking about, right? This is only a few dollars down, so it could easily get there. Keep an eye on that 54.5 because that puts us right back at the channel lows, and it also puts us right at this range expansion support, right? Take that range, copy and paste it down, right? Now you can start seeing where I get those range expansion levels, right, of support. So if it does take off to the downside, you know where your targets are, and they're at 54.50, and then we'll look for the run back up again. All right, that's my long-term plan there on the oil. Let's see what we got here for the short-term plan. Now, this is what you might want to get the kids out of the room for this one. You might want to put a helmet on for this one. There's quite a bit going on this chart. I'm always hesitant to really overload you guys because I know a lot of you are new traders, and but I try to stick to the basic fundamentals of what you need to be looking at on this chart right now. I know, right? There's a lot of reading to do in the lower left-hand corner. I apologize. Take an Advil for a headache. I have the same problem. I think too much and I start getting dizzy. So crude oil price action, again, this is very bearish, right? I told you this is a short-term look on it, right? Okay, so here is that bear channel we found off that anchor chart, right? See how we're now starting to really hone in on this? And you'll notice here what's happened. Look what's happened, right? We go from the lows up to the highs, down to the lows, back up to the highs, right? Can you guess where we're going next? Down to those lows. You got it. See, I knew you guys were smart with this stuff. Where do you think we're going next? Again, under normal conditions, we're going to gravitate back towards those highs, right? So that's why right off the bat here, this all kind of makes sense from the last chart we saw, right? It kind of makes sense. Let's keep going. Okay, now, could we go lower a little bit and then go higher? Absolutely. We see overshoots of these channels quite often. In fact, if we get an overshoot, it's even a bigger bullish clue, right? So we're going low to high, high to low, low to high, whoop, right? We overshoot. You're going to see a ton of profit taking down there, right? And you'll see it just snap back up. How do you trade that? Seller failure. You know the sellers are going to be getting at this too late, right? Bam, right? Look for those sellers here to try and fail. And where do you think the stop's going to be? Guess. Guess where the stops will be. It'll be right above those swings. Okay, so you know how to trade that now, right? So if it breaks down that channel low, you know what's likely to happen. You're going to get some folks that apparently don't watch this newsletter and love to be the last person to the party, right when the keg's floating in the pool. Yeah, they're going to be late to that party here. So let's play that scenario out here real quickly here. Now we take a look, a couple more clues here. A short-term bear channel. Now this short-term bear channel has a pretty aggressive move in it. Now this channel, in my opinion, is the biggest variable we're going to deal with for tomorrow. Because here's scenario one. Scenario one is we just keep on cooking inside this channel. We get down to range support, expansion support, and then we make our move back up. So we may get this thing to keep going here. And you've got to be prepared for that. Okay, don't just blindly buy this sucker right now. Remember, we may get that overshoot of that bigger channel low. Right? We've been talking about 55 here all week. Well, it's only Tuesday, but since yesterday we were talking about 55. I got to give myself some crap sometimes, right? So we know that we have this kind of medium-term bear channel. I'll tell you, it didn't look very bullish today. It looked pretty bearish, but again, we know what the long-term trend looks like. So we're going to see these little short-term bearish moves inside of those long-term bullish trends. So again, we may continue to go. Okay, it may break and finish the job, right? If you're a student with me, you know what I'm talking about. Here's what I'd be looking for to be a buyer. If you want to be a buyer at these lows, be looking for prices with this short-term channel. Break, try to go higher. Should I say this? Wait for the, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. There's a lot on this chart to talk about. We're going to see this bear channel most likely get broken. Price will go up and the sellers will try. If those sellers try and fail, that's going to be my big, easy clue. This sucker's going right back up again. Okay? So with the bear channel, it breaks, tries, your targets are going to be 56.11. If we can run it back to 56.11, that's going to tell us the bears are definitely here, and they're going to try to run this sucker down to that 55 area, right? But be careful here. Be careful. The natural tendency here is for these sellers to try. I'll be watching very closely tomorrow with our students in the trade room, watching to see now if these sellers try and fail because of the larger channel. Okay? Now, let's talk about this little short-term channel, because the short-term channel is probably going to give us a measured move before we get that attempt to go lower. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff involved in this, and if you're a student of mine, you know what channels do, because we teach it to you guys, the price action cycle in the intermediate section of our website, right? And we trade it every day together. So this short-term bull channel here has been broken. We're likely going to see them try to run this thing higher. Do not take the bait, though. Wait for the sellers to try here. Wait for those sellers to try. And when they sell and they fail, that's your clue now that you're ready to take this thing higher, right? Because remember, we're in a downtrend right now in the short term. So we go up, wait for the sellers to try, Once they fail, right? Bam, right back up. Targets overhead. Targets overhead. 57.25, 57.94. That gives me a little bit of support day down here at 55.90. Okay, range expansion. It's a double range expansion. Okay, so I will be looking for, yeah, I know there's a lot in this chart, and like I said before, it's a lot to cover here. My goal right now is to look for those sellers here to fail. Once they fail, that should be your clue. Using this larger range, right? Fake out, breakout at the lows. Using this bear channel, right? The larger bear channel, low to high, high to low, low to high, high to low, low to high, right? There's a lot of reasons right now why if these sellers try and they're unsuccessful, this price will go right back up into that range. Now, as always, nothing's guaranteed for tomorrow, guys. I'm going to come out tomorrow morning and see what we're going to make of the overnight session. It's been a little bit quiet out there, so stay patient while you wait here for it. You know my plan. Come out and see me tomorrow morning in the trade room, 8 a.m. Eastern time. We open it up for all of our students here at School of Trade. I want to remind you guys as well, don't forget, download those charts, grab your free pass, register for that nightly newsletter mailing list, and as always, don't forget over here at schooloftrade.com, we have the best free trial in the business. I'm going to teach you all about those range breakouts. I'll teach you all about drawing trend lines, channels, and everything in between. All part of our free trial, right? For the rock bottom price of free $99. I want to show you guys what professional traders do every day. I want to help you turn a dream into a career in the financial markets, guys. We get someone standing by 24/7 on live support to help you guys out. Don't be a stranger. My name's Joe. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching our newsletter. Now get out of here. Rest up. We get a busy day tomorrow. We get inventories on crude tomorrow. Finally got a little bit of shot in the arm here for some major news tomorrow. Be well. Be nice to each other. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, my live trade room. If you're a guest, I'll shoot you an invite for the trade room tomorrow afternoon. And, of course, we'll see you guys same time, same place for our newsletter. My name is Joseph. Sorry for the long video. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.